What's up, everybody? It's me, Chris. We're back for another BizBuzz Live. We changed the day. We changed the time. So now you get a chance to experience me on a Friday. Before we had it on Wednesday. Wednesday wasn't working out with the schedule. I'll just be honest, right? We're parents over here. We running businesses. There's a bunch of stuff we're doing. Wednesday just didn't work out anymore as a as a viable time to do this, but I couldn't forget about you, LinkedIn and YouTube. I couldn't forget about you. I know you want to see my face. I know you want to hear me talk. I know. I know. So that's why we came to you on Friday. So now the new time for BizBuzz Live is going to be every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, which is 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central. But 10:30 a.m. every Friday, we're coming to you with BizBuzz Live again to talk over all the things in the industry, around work, around cash flow that you need to get your life in the right place. So stick around. Let's watch the show today. All right. Guys, welcome back. I'm Chris Mouzon. I'm your financial coach, financial therapist. I'm helping you guys through all of your financial stuff. We're back with another episode of BizBuzz Live. For those of you that have been following along for the past few months, we've been doing BizBuzz Live specifically because as a financial coach and somebody that's gotten a chance to sit down with people and kind of lift up the hood under their financial life, so to speak, whether we start having conversations around savings, around debt, around investments, around insurance, around estate plans, around budgeting, around anything financially, typically it always comes back to, well, how are we generating money? How are we generating income? Do we have a job that pays our lifestyle, pays our bills, everything? We get all of our income from that one source. We have a high amount of discretionary income from that one source, and now we just need to figure out what to do with it. That's not most people, right? Most people that have one source are also looking for multiple sources or multiple streams of income because that one doesn't really pay for their full lifestyle. It'll take care of a lot of the bills, but it won't take care of a full lifestyle for them. So maybe there's dual households or dual household income that's needed. Maybe you just need a second or third gig. Maybe you need to start a side business. All those things are prevalent in today's society. And then you got people like me and my wife that are fully out on the entrepreneur side of things that are running business and looking for opportunities and continuing to grow and build our financial services agency and continuing to license people on the insurance side of things. So we have our own challenges and our own path. But at the end of the day, when we're dealing with finances, when we're dealing with growing, building wealth, growing our financial life, getting to a place where we're debt free, financially independent, have a healthy discretionary income, have money saved. When we're at that place, normally it comes back to our cash flow. Normally it comes back to how are we choosing to make money? And that's the place that we start. So decided to start the show so we can talk about some of the ways that people are making money. We've dove into a few different industries. Again, recap, I've come from the restaurant space. I used to be in the restaurant space. That's what I have a degree in. Associates in Culinary Arts, Bachelor Food Service Management. Thought I wanted to be a restaurateur. Love cooking for people, love food in general, but just knew that wasn't the industry for me long term. Knew I wasn't going to be able to get to where I wanted to go long term. Figured out that it was long nights, holidays, and weekends, right? You're overworked and underpaid. Started to realize that I just needed other options. So That may be some of you out there. Some of you may have went to school for something, put money and time and energy into something, had a dream since you were 18, 19, 20 years old, that that's something that you wanted to do. And then now that you're in the industry, you've gotten the degree, you got the job, you got the position. Now you're realizing that might not be the thing that you want long term. It's okay to change your mind. Let me just tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I thought this was the direction I was going to go with my career, or with my vocation, with the thing that I want to do for work. I thought this was the way to go. But now, after being in it for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, I'm realizing this isn't really going to do it for me. Some people have a hard time shifting. Some people have a hard time saying, like, yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, but now I'm going to go do something completely different. Some people, that's natural for us, or natural to be able to say, you know what, this isn't doing what I thought it would do. I'm going to go do something new. What I would tell you is, in your journey of, again, building your financial foundation, you have to be willing to make those shifts. You have to be willing to make those pivots. You have to be willing to pick up a new skill set or learn something new in order to get to a different life. So let's talk about it, right? You out there, maybe you're listening to me and you are already contemplating new career. You've realized that, all right, my job isn't really doing it for me. I'm not fulfilled at this place. I'm definitely not making all the money that I want to. Maybe the work environment is a little bit toxic. Sometimes it's funny. I hear the other side, that all the things are bad, but the work environment's good, right? Like, you don't make enough money. You don't really like the work that you do. You're not overly fulfilled. The hours aren't great, but you like who you work with. You like your coworkers. Your boss is pretty cool. Your manager's pretty cool. So like, you continue to show up because it's not that bad. Some of y'all have said that before, right? It's not that bad. At least I have a job, right? And again, we can be grateful for some things, but we got to know, is it serving us? Is it getting us to the place that we want to go? Is it taking us to the place in life where our financial foundation is being built? If we're living paycheck to paycheck from the job, no matter how much you like that job, it's not helping you financially. It's helping you pay your bills, but it's not helping you get out of paycheck to paycheck living, out of stressful situations, out of having more options, out of just building your financial foundation. So we got to be real with ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be real and say, okay, maybe this isn't the career that I thought was going to take me to where I want to go. So now let me pivot. Let me find something different. And again, for some people, that's very scary. But what I'll tell you, and I'll encourage all of you, as somebody that has done it, I went from the restaurant space, the hospitality space, into financial services, into building an insurance agency, right? And financial coaching business, right? Went from restaurants, hospitality, to that. Seemingly opposite ends of the spectrum. Yes. Seemingly opposite ends of, like, those two things don't go together at all. Right? Different skill sets, different industries. One's suit and tie. The other one is like come as you are. Right? One is known for kind of the wealthier, the, higher class people with money, or whatever the case is. The other is meant for everybody. So it's seemingly two different lines of work, but actually they were very similar. And that's actually something that happened. I'll share it with you, in order to get me into the financial services space, because I didn't think that was what I wanted to do. It wasn't an easy transition of like, oh, I was in hospitality, now let me go build in financial services. That was never like the plan. But what happened is, somebody introduced it to me. Somebody shared with me that, oh, you might be a good fit over here in the financial industry. And so a trusted guy, right, or a person that I've trusted, and kind of took his advice and explored that side. That's all it is at the beginning, when you want to make a change, when you're thinking about transitioning your career, you just want to explore the other side. Like, okay, well, what is it? What are the pros and cons? How well will I do? What's the type of work that I would have to do? All those types of things. And that's what I did. I explored the financial services space. And what I found out was, this is just another people business. It's just another people business. And I was like, oh, we're just dealing with people on this side. Well, that was a skill set that I already had in hospitality. I dealt with people all the time, whether it's a customer or a guest, whether it's a staff member. I always dealt with people and I was good with people. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, if I was good with people on that side, that was a skill set that I have because not everyone's good with people. I got some patience, can be humorous, right? I can be funny if I need to. But I picked those things up from being in restaurants, being in the hospitality space. And then I come over to financial services and I realize, man, I can use those same things. I got to get people to like me. I got to be personable. I got to be a little humorous. I got to know my stuff. Got to build trust. It's like all the same types of things. I just use my skill set in a different industry. So that's the first place I start for everyone that says, "Hey, I'm thinking about transitioning my career. I'm thinking about transitioning into something different because I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. And I like my work environment, but I don't really like the money that's being made. Here's a bigger thing. I don't like the person I'm becoming." That's a big one. Let me just pause there and take a little detour. At your job or whatever career you're choosing or whatever you're going off to do or whatever you're going to do next, ask yourself the question, who am I becoming? Not just what am I doing here? Like what's my job detail? Who am I going to be around? That type of stuff. And right, how many hours? But more of who are you becoming at the job? A job, our business, whatever we do for work, it consumes a large part of our life. I know some of us don't want that to be the case, but it does. It consumes 40, 35 to 60 hours a week of your time on average. For those super high achievers, it might be that 60 to 80 hours a week, 60 to 85. But you're somewhere between that 35 to 60 hours a week of your life being given to your career, to your job, to what you go off to do. So it's a pretty significant part outside of sleeping of our life, which means we're going to spend a bunch of time there. So a bigger question potentially to ask for those of you that are transitioning is, who is this job going to make me? Like, who do I have to become to do this job? Case in point, very noble positions like nursing or anything in the medical field or police officers, correctional officers, right? Those types of things. Very noble jobs. You can make money from it. You probably got to figure out, you might have the skill set of doing some of those things. They're a little bit different. But the question is, who are you becoming? Who do you become when you become desensitized to pain, desensitized to hurt, desensitized to trauma? People that work in hospitals long term, especially if you deal with trauma, especially if you deal in the ER or if you deal in surgeries or anything, you're going to be exposed to both sides. You're going to be exposed to death. You're going to be exposed to hurt. You're going to be exposed to pain. You're going to be exposed to all of that. So what does 25 years of being exposed to that look like? Who do you become? Who do you become as a mother, as a father? Who do you become to your children? Who do you become to the people around you? It could be good. Not saying it's all bad. You could become the healer of your family, maybe. I'm not sure, right? But you could also become desensitized to pain, to hurt. You think certain things are normal. Same thing if you're a cop, if you're a correctional officer, right? Have friends that are correctional officers. Well, yeah, you might have great benefits, but what's it like to be in a prison for 20 years, for 15 years, for 8 years? Like, sure, you get to go home, but you're spending 40 to 60 hours a week, if not more, at that place. So who are you becoming? This is a sidebar question that I want you to ask yourself if you're in the pursuit of figuring out your next job or your next business or the next thing you're going to do to make money. Also ask yourself, outside of just what's the job entail, what's the business entail, what's my hours like, who am I becoming? Who do I have to become to do this? You have to become someone. You have to think about things a certain way or not in order to do certain jobs well. So who are you becoming? Put a pin in that. Think about that when you're shifting careers. But either way, for those of you that, again, back to those of you that are shifting careers or thinking about you're in the process of shifting a career, You want to be able to utilize your skill set, pull from the skill set that you have, or the skill sets that you have that you've developed over your working years. Nothing is wasted. Whatever job you had taught you something, taught you what you were good at, taught you what you were not good at, taught you what good management was, what bad management was, what good leadership was, what good leadership isn't, what type of schedule you like, whether you like physical labor, whether you just like mental labor, what you can handle, all those things. You learn something about yourself. So now figure out, hey, well, what am I really good at? What am I really good at? Once you figure out what you're good at in those skill sets, try to find an industry where that skill set can complement it. It does not have to be the same role. I see this a lot on LinkedIn, actually. It's a conversation I want to have a little bit more on the LinkedIn side. But when people pop up that, hey, open for new work, sometimes I message people because I'm just curious of like, okay, well, what are you open to? And 9 times out of 10, people just want the exact same position that they were in. Nine times out of 10 on LinkedIn specifically, when people post that I'm open for work, looking for a new role in, they actually just put the same role that they came from or the same roles that they've been in. And I'll every once in a while message and inquire, like, hey, like, are you open to other things? Or are you just trying? And most people, again, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 people are like, I just want to do this one position. If I've been in HR, I just want an HR position. I don't care what company it's with, but I would like an HR position. If I'm a district manager, if I'm a regional manager, I want a regional management position. I don't care what company it's with. I just want a regional management position. And oftentimes, I think when we're switching careers, that's something that can limit us a ton into actually finding out what we're supposed to be doing, what we're really good at, what the world needs, what we like doing, what makes money. To find out what we really want to do, you have to be willing to not think of the title, but think of the skill set or the value you provide. Too often we think of the title that we have. Oh, I've been a manager, I've been a regional this, I've been an HR this, I've been a sales this. Right? We're focused on the title, and then we want that title in different places. I'm a project manager, so I can be a project manager in all these places. But what's the actual skill set that underlies it? Are you good with people? Are you good at communicating? Are you good at organization? Do you have leadership qualities? Do you show up early? Do you leave late? Like what are the skill sets that you have? Do you have a technical skill in something in IT? Do you have a technical skill in something that someone else doesn't have in AI or artificial learning, like machine learning? Do you have a skill set in something? Maybe you do have an education skill set, like a skill set in teaching. Well, that doesn't mean you have to be in the education system. Just because you have a skill set of teaching doesn't mean that you have to go find a job at a college or a university or as a tutor. Like, that limits, because you're looking at the title, that limits what you're actually able to do, what you're called to do. So if you identify skill sets, then you can explore all the other industries that are out there. There's a teacher right now, there's an educator right now listening to me, possibly, right? Or somewhere just scrolling on YouTube or LinkedIn. There's an educator right now that doesn't like being in the education system, but has a knack for children, and they actually should go start some type of playground. Right? I'm just making that up. But like, it might actually monetize a bit more for you, and you still get to be around the children or whatever it is that was important to you and utilizing your skill set, but just not in the actual traditional title of teacher or educator or professor. We have to be open to these types of things if we want to change. We're looking to change our careers or change what it is that we're doing in order to what? Ultimately bring in more income, ultimately be more fulfilled. Simon Sinek has that saying where, his mission in life is for the vast majority of people to wake up every day excited about the work that they do in the world, right? Excited about their job, excited about the business that they have, excited about pushing whatever they're doing in the world forward. That's his vision. He's trying to get people to do that because most people don't. Most people don't wake up excited about what they're doing, excited to push their vision forward. I would uh, uh, venture to say, that potentially could be because people haven't figured out what they're called to do. They haven't figured out what they like doing, what they're good at, what makes money. So they're not excited about it, which makes sense. But we, all of you listening, LinkedIn, YouTube, we want to get to a place where we can have a solid financial foundation. Where you're debt free, you're financially independent. You could do all the things you want. Money is not a limited resource for you. So in order to do that, we got to think about how we are making money. Your options: get a job. Hopefully that job does all the things you want it to do. But if you're not getting consistent raises, then it likely won't. You can have a job in a side business. You can have a job in a second or third job. You could fully have a business and not have a job at all, and just be fully an entrepreneur. Regardless, the goal is to increase your cash flow, to spend less and to make more, to keep your expenses low and to raise your income. Let's not overcomplicate money. Let's not overcomplicate our financial life. The majority of you, 70% of you that I'm talking to right now, that's all you should be focused on. How do I keep more of the money that's coming in, aka lower my expenses? How do I raise my income, go from making $5,000 a month to making $10,000 a month? How do I do that? How do I save more? How do I pay off debt? It's all you got to focus on. And it all starts with, how do I keep more of what's coming in, lower my expenses, and then how do I raise my income? How do I go make more money? I wanted this show to be us talking about how do we make more money and what are the ideas and what do we have to think about in order to go make more money, because most people don't. Most people just stay at the job, or they get the raise, or they skip companies to get a quick raise, but they're doing the same things. They're not fulfilled. It doesn't last long term. So how do we get fulfilled? You take your skill sets, you take the things that you're good at, and you go apply them in other industries that pay you more money. That's it. You're using the skill sets that God gave you, that you've learned, that are innate to you, that other people don't have, and you are putting it into different industries, not the industry that you are used to working in, you're accustomed to working in, a different industry that potentially pays more money, gives you a better quality of life, has a better work environment, whatever you're looking for, and take your skill sets and then move over there. And this never ends in life, because if you keep creating new skill sets for yourself, you'll keep having new opportunities to utilize those skill sets, aka find better jobs, make better money, partner with better people in business, because your skill sets are different. That's how we get to the place where our discretionary income grows. Remember, the goal is to keep your expenses where they are and to keep raising your income. If your expenses are $4,000 a month, how do you keep it at $4,000 a month, but go make $20,000 a month? That's how you start to build wealth. That's how you start to separate. That's how you start to build a solid financial foundation. What many people do is their expenses are $4,000 and they make $5,000 a month. Then they make $8,000 a month. And then guess what their expenses go to? $7,000. That's what happens. Now that I make a little bit more, I deserve a better car. I deserve a better vacation. My kids deserve a better school. I deserve a little bit better food. I deserve to eat organically. All these things, none of these things are wrong. It's just that's what keeps you paycheck to paycheck. Because when you're only making $5,000 and your expenses were $4,000, you didn't have those luxuries. But now because you started making $8,000, you think you have some of those luxuries. So then your expenses go up. And then when you start making 12 grand, your expenses go to 10 grand, 11 grand. Now you move. Now you get a second house. Now you have a rental property. Now you want a boat. Now you want to get a timeshare and have a better vacation, right? But that's what happens. So how do we stop that? Keep our expenses where they are. That's the goal. Keep your expenses where they are. Live the lifestyle that you're living right now and below, and focus on how do we bring in more income? How do you bring it in? New job, second job, third job, freelance, business, side hustle. What are you going to do? But you got to bring in some more. Once we figure that out, then we figure out where it goes. Savings, debt, insurance, retirement, estate plans, like whatever. But it all starts with your cash flow, ladies and gentlemen. That's the message. It all starts with your cash flow. So again, we're switching the times for these BizBuzz Live. You're going to get it every Friday now, 10:30 a.m. Feel free to follow me on any of the other platforms. We're going to talk money. We're going to talk business. We're going to talk entrepreneurship. We're going to talk faith, family, business, right? That's what we believe in at United Agency, at the business, right? We're here to help families build people and get you to a better life. That's our motto, helping families, building people a better life. We want to help families get ahead financially, learn some of these concepts, learn some of the things they need to do and the habits they need to put in place so their financial life can grow, so that they can have a solid financial foundation for them and their families. Starts with education, starts with learning about money and then doing the right things with it. So we're big on that. We're big on building people. We hold a morning mindset call that I'm going to give you guys some more access to. We're going to start promoting it a bit more. Our morning mindset calls are to help build you, to help get you to your ideal self, to design the life that you want. And normally to design the life that we want, we have to become a different person, right? And so we try to help you become a different person through personal growth, personal development, mentorship, leadership, right? Just the right insights. And then we believe in helping people get to a better life, right? Having hope that the future is better, having hope to know that 6 months, your whole life can change. In 12 months, your whole life could be different. Your financial life could be different. Your business life, your job life, your family life, all of it could be different. But do you believe it? Do you have hope that that's the case? Do you believe that like things can get better for you up ahead? That's what we believe in on the business side. That's our pillars, helping families, building people a better life. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that in all the facets. This show, BizBuzz Live, is really just to help you get your mindset shaped around how to improve your cash flow. So we got to talk about business. We got to talk about industry. We got to talk about why people are staying at dead end jobs. We got to talk about why people aren't venturing out to become entrepreneurs. We got to talk about, if you do venture out to become an entrepreneur, what do you need to do? If you are switching your career and finding a second or third job, what are you looking for? If you're in an industry that you're unsure of, or you're looking at an industry that you're unsure of, how do you make the decision of if that's the industry for you or not? These are the types of things we want to talk about. We want to be able to help you through it. So every Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central, we're going to jump on. We're going to have these conversations around industry, around cash flow, around entrepreneurship, around business, around jobs, around job life. These are the things that are going to help you bring in more income. And then we could come back around. You can send me a message. I'm more than happy to sit down with you and talk about how we do the rest of the things once we've figured out how to make the money. All right. Cool, y'all. LinkedIn, YouTube, it's been a pleasure. Happy Friday to you. Go out and do something that scares you this weekend. It's what I end with a lot, because I want you to do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, because it's only when we're out of our comfort zone that we grow. So until next time, next Friday, peace, y'all. Take care.